I said I will take a short intro to source code control in LabVIEW and TestStand, and feel free to come with comments or questions or what you have. It will be short about the source code control in general, some basic about what Git is. Yeah, it was actually basic. Yeah, so you see what it is. So we have a basic understanding for the next presentations. I think most of you have seen me before, so it's just very short about who I am. And we will then go to the types of the source code control. But yeah, the story about source code. Sorry, I was a little confused with that. Yes. Yeah, we go back here. Sorry about that. Anybody of you have some comments to what source code control should be? Why should we use source code control? Any thoughts about that?
It's the world's best safety net when you fuck up.
Is there any other way?
Insane.
I think that was put more eloquently than I was going to put it. Just basically, if you mess up, you can go back to what was working.
Yes. We'll just take that one again. It is history, traceability. It's right. It's history and it's backup, as what we talked about. We need to go to this one again. What about if you don't have source code control and you want to work in a larger project with other people? There's also something about collaboration. And another thing is, if you want to try something, you can branch out, you can do an experiment, and then you can say, okay, some of the experiment was maybe good, some of it wasn't good, so you can take it in again. You can like go out and say, okay, I want to try something without having the risk of disturbing the whole project. And you can hold some about releases, and you can do look about code quality review. You can easily check it out, have a review, see what is changed when you do a review. We will look about that. In the source code control in general, there is different source code controls. What are you using in here? Are you using source code control? If we take in here, yes. And what are you using? Is it Git? Is it Subversion? Is it Perforce? Or is it Subvert?
We use TFS, the Foundation Server.
Yeah.
And we are switching to Git.
Okay.
So it's very relevant here.
Yeah.
It's been used for several years in other areas of development.
Yeah. And others are using Git or?
That's one,
Yeah, it's also what I expected. You can see the market share of Git is more or less, it's getting larger and larger. I was seeing how was it in 2015. Subversion was still, Perforce was still, Mercury was also still, but then going up now, it's more or less only Git. Of course, in LabVIEW we are normally a little behind, little slower to adopt to new things, but it is also it is general in software market, but for LabVIEW it's you will see the same for the future. Then I'll just go back to where Git came from, because it's from our region. The founder, and he is born in our region. Everyone knows who it is? Anybody want to say? Yeah. And he started in 2005 because he needed something, the one he was using he couldn't use anymore, and but actually he was only very short using it. So he is the founder of Git, but everything it came from July 2005, and until now it's actually more the Junior Hamano who have developed that, okay, taken care about that. Just a little that it's our it's coming from our region. At Git, there is in principle 4 different storage locations. You have the directory you're working in. It is the working directory. Then you have another, it's a staging area where you have a file that you say, okay, that file is good. I wanna keep that. I wanna like take it to the place. Or in principle, you can also take just a part of a file and say, this part of a file I wanna keep using. You can put it in the staging area, and then from the staging area, it's also a separate storage. So you can both have one version in working directory and in staging area. Then from the staging area, you can say, okay, then I'm committing it to the repository, to the place where we have all our stuff. These ones you can say they are more, they are temporarily. You are just working there, and the history is not stored. But then when you put it to the repository, you're like writing a message, putting it in, and then it's stored in this repository. And here is a local repository where the whole history is stored of all commits. Yep.
Kan du slå din mus til?
Oh, yes.
Sites.
Yeah, I can probably do that here. Yes. Laser pointer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yes, that's good. Yep. And from the local repository, you can then you don't need it. You can have everything local. You can, if you want to start with Git, you can just install Git and then say Git init, and then you have a local repository. You can do everything here. Nothing more is needed. You don't need to have a GitHub account or something like that. But you can also, if you're working with other, or if you want to have some backup, you can then push the changes to a remote where you are saying, okay, now I have the local here, then I'm copying it to the remote and like pushing it and checking it out, pulling it. That should actually be pulled here, but pushing and pulling it to the remote, so you have like a backup up in the remote. But in principle, you have everything. You can have everything running local. There up in the remote, then another person can then check out or pull the things you have, and then you can take it back from the remote to the local, and then back to the working directory. You can't, the staging area, that is only this area for the files that, or for the part of file for the data you want to have up. It's not like you can pull it back to the staging area. About branches. In Git we are using branches, so we have a main one where you can add the commits. Then you can also like copying out, saying, okay, you are maybe started working on a project in the main, and then you say, okay, I want to test something. Then you can take it out on another branch. Then you are not disturbing everything laying on the main one. Another one can check out the main one and work on that, or you can also have both. You can switch between these ones. But then when you come to this here, then you want to have them put together again. And that you can do in 2 ways. And how you do it in the tools, VDA will tell about. It's more the basic about the branches and stuff like that. You can either merge it in, and so there you have these things change here, these things change here, and then you like putting it together. If you have not changed same files, then it's no problem. Then you're just putting it together. We'll come back to what happens if you have changed the same files. Try to avoid that. We will see that, but there is some ways to handle it if you come in that situation. But then you can say, okay, it was some good I was doing here. I'm putting it back to the main. It is what we had before, and it is now what we have now. You can continue. You can also decide to do it in another way. You can also like saying, I take the one I had on the main, and then I take the development and add in the end of the main branch. It's called rebase. So you take your new branch and they're saying, okay, I'm taking all the changes here and starting from the newest one on the main branch. And that is then you are rebranching out, and then you can push it back to main, and then you are not having, then you only have one straight line. And and then you are having everything, all the commits are like put back on the main branch. There is some advantages, disadvantages. If you, for example, in this one here, have merge conflict that there is a file that is changed in both branches, then you need to handle that for every single commit you're putting on. If you have so in this commit, you have to handle what is doing with the merge conflict. In this commit, what is doing in the merge conflict. So it's more difficult to do, but you're sure that you have like one line, so you can always go back to a certain time and say, how did it look here? Separate compile code, do we all know about that? Yes, okay, because that is quite old. I'll just take in here, and Philippe was also mentioning if you have both the compile code and the source code in, it's getting it's the fast time load time is faster, but then you are recompiling every time you are in another system, and therefore all your VIs are changing, and it's a mess to keep in source code control. So that is very good.
And also, if you do any cosmetic changes to the file, it will recompile and it will flag as changed.
Yeah.
So even just a wire that has been moved, nothing is functional change, it's still a change in the VI. But if you separate the compile code, there's nothing changed in the code. It's only visual. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. If you have a type definition, a cluster that you are using a lot of places in your code, if you then change something there or have an enum, you are using a lot of places in your code, you're changing there, then every places it's used, it's saved again. So if you have these issues, you could consider using a class instead, because that you can have the same data in. I will not have shown now, but you can have data inside the class, and then you it's only the class, and that is not forcing a recompile if you change something in the class. I have talked to some. I don't know if anybody of you have this issue, but it's a common thing. I changed only one little in the type, and then I have a lot of change. Then of course you have too large.
What issue with the type def is that also for non-strict? Does it make any difference?
Yes, it's all if you take it as a control.
Yeah.
Then it's not, but at control there you're only taking a copy of the control. If you change it, then it's not propagating out through, so you can't use it as it. But if you have a type def and you add some, if you change the caption, I don't think it's propagating through because the caption are local. But if you change the label, the name of any of the, or if you change the data type, then it's changing something on the front panel and it's propagating all the way through. So yes, it will. Even you are not using this thing inside on bundle or bundle, it's as long as you have it in there. So beware about that. When you work with source code control, you find out, try to make them simpler, the VIs. So you don't have these two complex VI, one complex VI and have two different versions. That's definitely something you should be aware of. And also, if sub-VI change is not causing a change, but if the pattern, the interface pattern are changed, you can also have a lot of changes. So think about your API the way out to the rest of the world when you start making a sub-VI. A different VI version. If you are trying to open in 25 and it was saved in 19 or in 23 or something like that, it will also recompile unless you have said that it shouldn't, or resave, unless you have said that it should save in the old version. Then you can open a VI that was saved in 23. You can open it in 25 and it will not cause it to save. That is also a newer version that you can save for an older version. And if there's some dependencies, Steve, we were talking about in the car, if there is a dependency to a DLL and the DLL is a little different version on the two, then it's often causing it to save, even you think there's no difference here. Or if you have a toolkit in a little different version, so you should be aware about this. These dependencies should be same versions, especially the DLLs. I don't think the LabVIEW, if you have different VIPM packages, it shouldn't be so much a problem, but
Only if the VIPM has restructured code.
of course, yes. But if the API is the same, then it shouldn't change. But a DLL that is changing, you can very easy.
But also falls in the other case that you said that if you change the connector pane or something, and that's also, even if you use VIPM, also changes.
Okay. Yeah. That's right.
If you open it, that will be a dirty dot on the top saying that you need to save again.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
But doesn't mean that you need to save that, but that will ask you for a save.
Yeah. And there is no way to take this automatic. There is some, if it's locked, you can do something in the settings, but it's not working normally.
There is the extreme as well, which you can take everything that's external and put it into it. Don't have any dependencies.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I've started doing that, and it's made a lot of difference.
These ones I haven't been out. I was just searching around. Those you can have templates in your icon editor. If you then change the template and it's linked to, you can have issues there. I haven't seen it. I was just seeing that it could be an issue, and I have no more there. There is also, as soon as you change something to the front panel, the size or the 0 or something like that, then it's also changing.